continuing with the entertainment. So it's not just the what do you call this? The movies that we're talking about. This year, the Olympics going to be held at Tokyo, Japan. Now, they were supposed to be presented last year. Because of the pandemic, it has been pushed. There were concerns that should it be, presented, or should it continue for this year, or should it be postponed for another year. Now, obviously, there are big bucks that's at stake here in terms of revenues. The government in Japan has invested a lot in terms of infrastructure, not necessarily, additional infrastructure, but obviously, providing services, making sure that all the athletes are taken care of. And obviously the tourism, that was supposed to be a big boost for the country here, but that's not going to happen with regards to, viewers being able to visit the country just to watch the Olympic Games live. Anyway, according to the article here at CNBC.com, so NBC Universal, which is owned by CNBC, will air more than 7,000 hours worth of Olympic coverage on TV as well as in streaming services here. So, where the heck is it? There you go. So, the parent company CNBC, which owns the TV network NBC Universal, as mentioned, is going to showcase the Olympics, being the primary partner for the being able to showcase the different sports here. So the Summer Olympics is a massive draw for many viewers. Now, obviously, it's gonna attract a lot of viewers worldwide. It's not just going to be seen in the United States market, but also in Europe, South America, Asia, even Oceania. So all parts of the world are going to be interested to support their, corresponding countries, athletes, or favorite, players, and so forth. Anyway, so it typically draws around almost 30 million people. So that's a lot. So obviously there's big money to be made in terms of sponsorship, advertisement. That's why, obviously companies have been trying to push, to proceed with the telecast of the Olympics here. Now, when was it going to be released? Yeah, the Olympics is going to run next month, July 23rd, all the way to August 8th. So, it's going to be interesting how it's going to turn out. Obviously, with the different circumstances, it's not going to be like any other Olympic event that has happened in previous years. Obviously, especially for athletes who's been training for the past 4 years, and now has been extended to a 5th year, so that to prepare not just for the event, but also with difficulty of circumnavigating, with the pandemic in lockdown and so forth. So how are you able to train in preparations leading up to the event later this year? Now, obviously, some of the more popular events that people will tune in is obviously you have the men's basketball team, which is showcased by NBA players. So they're on course to chase their 16th gold medal. Then you have the women's basketball team as well. You have women's soccer, not men's soccer. And you have swimming events, gymnastics, and others. So obviously, you have your preferences, or if you want to watch the whole shebang, you're feel free to watch the whole show. Anyway, so it mentions here that way back in 2014, what was it? Was it mentioned here? Yeah, there you go. So way back in 2014, NBC and the IOC, or the International Olympic Committee, agreed that they would partner up and extend their partnership in the sum of almost 8 billion. So that's a lot of zeros, right? Partnering with those two companies. So, if they were to postpone it again, it's going to be problematic for NBC, who have invested a lot. And obviously, they're going to capitalize the presence of their network in the Olympics. Anyway, it also mentions that the agreement will run through not just this year, but all the way to 2032. And they're going to cover the event in 2024. That's in France. Then you have 2028. It's going to be hosted in the United States, in Los Angeles particularly. So obviously that's still years ahead, but they're always looking forward to the next Olympics, Summer Olympics, Winter Olympics, and so forth and so forth. Anyway, so obviously there were concerns regarding should the event proceed with, the pandemic is still ravaging in other countries. Now, obviously, the event is a unifying theme for many countries, so being able to hold it so that it signifies that people can still overcome even in under difficult times. How do you balance both of those is, it's a very testing issue, but according to the IOC, they mentioned that they're going to include intense pandemic controls or protocols, sorry, for the game. So in order for the athletes to be tested, they mentioned the testing of at least 4 days. Now, obviously, this would, bring tremendous relief, stress at the same time for the athletes, so they can focus on the events that they're participating. Now, the sad thing here is in terms of spectator, if you're from outside of Japan, you're not able to do that here in this case. So not only the fans will miss out, especially families or friends and so forth, businesses can be affected here. Obviously, typically if there's a Olympic event or Olympics in that particular country, it tends to boost the tourism significantly, not just accommodation, food, travels, and all of those stuff. The only spectators allowed to watch the events are obviously within Japan. So it's going to be locally hosted. So there's the only one who can watch the event. But I'm sure Japanese people are going full force to support the event so that you won't see unoccupied seats in different venues, and I'm sure they've been preparing for it since last year here. So looking forward what the events will showcase, especially the introduction, the start of the ceremony and the closing ceremony. That's always something, a big spectacle that we're all always looking forward to.